going on YouTube? My name is Max. I've been lifting weights for about 10 years, and over these past 2 years, I've lost about 130 pounds. My goal with this channel is to help you guys gain confidence in the gym and help share what I've learned over these past near 10 years. So today we're going to be talking about whether or not having a workout partner is a good thing or a bad thing. And we're going to talk about who it could be good for, who it could be bad for, my personal thoughts that ended up being pretty controversial on my most recent YouTube short. But first things first, please don't forget to subscribe. It helps me a ton. And with that, let's get into the video. Alrighty, before we get into the controversial part about my personal opinion on this, which I got some flack for, but I'm gonna double down on it later in this video, but I'll also explain why I think that and how it could be different for different people. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna first go over the pros, and then we're gonna go over the cons, and then go from there. So the first pro on the list is going to be enjoyment. So this is honestly one of the biggest things, especially for new lifters. This helps a lot, which is of course who I mostly am trying to help with this, because I want to get as many people in the gym as possible, and I really want to help as many people feel how I feel about the gym and get as many people as possible into the gym. The reason it makes it so much more enjoyable is just because you have somebody else there. So you can talk, you can mess around, you can joke with each other. If y'all are struggling, you can joke around about how much it hurts, which honestly, just going through someone with the struggle helps a lot. And one of the biggest hurdles for really getting into the gym is you just don't enjoy it. It's a chore. That's with any developing a new skill or a new habit. The hardest part is normally you just don't enjoy doing it. And for most people who've gone to the gym for a long time, it's the complete opposite. We love going to the gym. It's one of our favorite things out of the whole week. You see all the memes, me just looking forward to the gym throughout the whole day. And that's true for a lot of people. A lot of people, their life, what they enjoy doing the most out of everything is the gym. So the idea is to start building towards that. And one way that you can help that is by having somebody else there to help you think of the gym as something that isn't just a chore. And number 2 on the list is going to be accountability. Now, accountability is huge with the gym because, like I said earlier, the hardest part is really getting there. Most people, once you get to the gym, they're okay with doing a workout and they want to, but a lot of times the hardest part is actually getting there. I know this with a lot of people. Same thing when it comes to going to class, same thing when it comes to going to work. The hardest part is that initial phase of making that first step, being like, all right, just do it. All right. So having somebody else who's there, who's waiting on you, who's going to hold you accountable, be like, hey, where are you at today? Why aren't you here yet? Or hey, we're going to be here at a certain time. Having that accountability really helps. And number 3 on the pros list is going to be, you can just push each other. Whenever you're new to the gym, a lot of times it's hard to push yourself because you really don't know in your head how hard you can go. Or when you see someone else who's going hard, that makes you want to go harder. And then you also feel safer to where if you're going hard on something, you're going to have a spotter or something's going to happen to where, if, worst case, if something goes wrong, your friend can help you out, or your workout partner, whoever it ends up being. Again, I think this is mostly for new lifters, because whenever you're new to the gym, you haven't really gone through all the experiences of knowing how hard you can actually push. A lot of people don't realize this, especially with big compound movements. Squats is a really big one, where you'll be going down, you'll all think like, oh, this is my last one, there's no way I can do more. Then you push past it, and then you realize you got another 3-4 reps in the tank. But if you don't push that limit, and it's a really thin line that you sometimes have to track, and having a spotter there or having a friend there who's your workout partner really can help you reach those new heights. All right, now we're gonna get to the controversial part of the negatives, the stuff that I personally think is very bad about having a workout partner. So for me, most of these cons are more for people who are advanced lifters, intermediate lifters, or people who are just no longer at the very beginning stage. So the first con is less structured. So if you guys have watched my previous videos, something I preach a lot about going to the gym is having a workout plan and having a structured workout plan where you focus on progressive overload. Now, whenever you have a workout partner, sometimes it gets a little bit hard to actually progressive overload like you'd want to, because sometimes your workout partner wants to do something different, or a lot of times ego will get in the way where oh, we should bench press today instead, which I know it's happened to me before, right? Sometimes, you see a bench press and it looks real nice over there. You don't want to go squat, you don't want to go do some of the other stuff you're supposed to work on, and you just want to go max on bench and flex on your workout partner about who's the stronger one. So that's the first con. Just workouts tend to be less structured, which leads to less gains long term. All right, and this one also kind of tags along with it being less structured, is it's just less intense. Because the amount of times that I've worked out with somebody and we end up, it's supposed to be 30-45 second rest break, and we start talking for like 10 minutes before I do a second set. And I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing, Unless we start talking for like 10 minutes, it ends up being a bad thing because the workouts is no longer very intense. The workouts is no longer really that intense because you're having inconsistent rest periods, because you don't just want to be in the middle of talking to someone and just be like, I gotta get this set in. Do your bench press, be like, okay, back to what you were saying, right? You don't want to do that. You don't want to be rude to whoever you're talking to, which is completely understandable because you don't want to. But this leads to less intense workout. And then last one, this one, I think, especially if you're an advanced lifter and you've trained with people before who are weaker than you, y'all are really gonna feel me on this one, is people can hold you back. Now, it sounds kind of bad, I'll be honest with you. I know it sounds bad, like being held back in the gym. Is it an excuse? No, just a lot of times whenever you're working out with someone new, what you're doing is you're focusing on getting them stronger instead of focusing on really pushing yourself, which you can't really do whenever you have someone who's new to the gym there. Because let's say they don't know how to spot really well, X, Y, and Z, right? Not gonna be able to push yourself as hard. And if you've got to move a ton of weights, right? Like if I'm leg pressing 8 plates on each side, going hard, and then I'm working out with someone who does half that or less than that, then, you know, we're spending a minute plus just moving the weights, and I'm critiquing form or whatever it ends up being, right? So a lot of times if you're working out with someone weaker than you, you're just gonna be held back. Which if you go into training somebody with a mindset like, yeah, I'm not necessarily gonna get the most gains out of this, but I'm helping this person get stronger and then they can lift on their own, then I think that's great. I've done that with a lot of people, but the downside is you do stunt your growth a little bit. Not like it stunts it forever, but now for what my controversial opinion was whenever I released my YouTube short, I said that you shouldn't have a workout partner. I think if you're going to the gym, most of the time they're just gonna hold you back, or you're not gonna be really having an intense workout where you're not gonna be able to focus on what you need to focus on in order to build muscle. Now, there's a caveat to this, which is if you're a new lifter, I think it's great, but I think it's much better if you can find someone who's similar strength than you, or maybe a little bit stronger so you can look towards something, right? But I've worked out with people before where I want to train them, but I'll be honest, they get demoralized because I'm just way stronger than they are. And so it ends up being a problem because you just like, let's say someone's really competitive and they're going to the gym, they're going hard, but you've just had 10 years of training on them. They're not gonna be able to catch up in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. For a lot of people, it just ends up being demoralizing. So that's why I don't think you should work out someone who's way ahead of you, but someone who's the same strength or a little bit stronger, and I think you'll be good at it. But if you're an advanced lifter, I still disagree with it for the most part. Only time I would say it's okay is if you're doing it as a social event. This is kind of what I talked about in my short was, whenever you work out with somebody, you know, especially inconsistently, right? If I'm meeting a friend who I haven't talked to in a while and we're going to the gym, then it's fine, right? Because I'm considering it almost as a social event more than I'm going to the gym to get swole. I'm trying to build as much muscle as possible. It ends up, my focus on what the gym is for ends up being different, right? So if you go into it with that mindset, I think it's okay. But I still don't think necessarily that having a workout partner is good for you, especially long-term as a more advanced lifter. All right, y'all, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It really does help me a lot. I really appreciate it if you guys can do that. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.